I'll come back.
So I'd like to call this special meeting, Board of Selectmen meeting to order. Are you recording it?
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Continue. Okay, this is a hybrid public meeting. I'm not sure anybody's on, but if you are, welcome. First thing is Tuesday, November 26th at 8:18 in the conference room. I'd like to move to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? I guess my discussion is, you're here just for audience or? Okay. We're either gonna set the meeting or we're not, but that's fine. All those in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
Thank you. New business, motion to set a town meeting on December 10th, 2024 at 7:00 PM. And to adjourn to referendum December 17th, 2024 from 12 PM to 8 PM based on the following resolution.
I think you're gonna need to read that whole,
This one?
right, yes.
Okay. So the legal notice states for the town of Columbia, notice of a special town meeting and referendum, all qualified electors of the town of Columbia, Connecticut, known as the town, and any other persons entitled to vote upon any of the matters contained in this notice are hereby warned that a special town meeting of the town is to be held on in Yeoman's Hall, 323 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut, on Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, at 7 PM for the following purposes: to elect a moderator. Number two, to consider and discuss, but not vote on the following resolution. Amendment resolution authorizing an increase in the appropriation from $6,175,000 to $8,376,245 for the installation, replacement, and/or upgrading of the HVAC system and indoor air quality improvements at the Horace W. Porter School, and an increase in the maximum amount of the general obligation bonds and notes in anticipation of such bonds to finance said appropriation from $3,396,250 to $5,500,000. Full text of the foregoing authorization resolution is on file and open to inspection at the office of the town clerk, Town Hall, 323 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut, for the use or inspection of any interested persons. All qualified electors and persons entitled to vote in the town meetings of the town are hereby further notified that pursuant to section 2.5 alpha of the town charter, the foregoing resolution is being submitted to the voters at referendum for a yes or no vote. The question to be voted upon is as follows. Shall the resolution entitled Amendment Resolution authorizing an increase in the appropriation from $6,175,000 to $8,376,245 for the installation, replacement, indoor upgrading of the HVAC system and indoor air quality improvements at the Horace W. Porter School, and an increase in the maximum amount of general obligation bonds and notes in anticipation of such bonds to finance said appropriation from $3,396,250 to $5.5 billion be approved. Yes or no? The ballot label for said question shall read as follows. Shall the town increase its appropriation from $6,175,000 to $8,376,245 and increase the maximum amount of general obligation bonds and notes to finance said appropriation from $3,396,250 to $5,500,000 for the HVAC system and and indoor air quality improvements at the Horace W. Porter School. Yes or no? The vote will be conducted on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, during the hours of 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Yeoman's Hall, 323 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut. Absentee ballots will be available from the town clerk's office in accordance with applicable law. Absentee ballots will be counted at the following central location: Yeoman's Hall, 323 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut. Voters approving the resolution will vote yes, and voters opposing the resolution will vote no. To adjourn the special town meeting to a referendum vote on the above question to be held on the date during the time and at the notice polling place referred to above. We will. So I get all in favor, vote. All favor in moving this forward.
Hold on 1 second. So I think, so you're making the motion. We want to make sure we have this correct.
Put it in front.
Town reinforcement, a motion being made by the board member. So you made the motion. Just want to make sure that you have to sign this.
Okay.
This legal notice also has to be signed.
Okay, so once you made the motion, then yes, there's a vote, and there's nobody. Oh, who? Is that Mike Patello, who's on the phone, 860-573-7449? Can you identify yourself?
It's Chris Lent.
That's Chris Lent, okay.
All right. So all those in favor of the motion, or can we discuss it or what?
I guess if anybody have questions or discussion?
I just have a question about the range on a bond. Is that because of the fluctuating interest rates?
Part of it's the interest rates, we haven't confirmed that, but part of it is because of the increase in the pricing from the bids. Basically, it's about 2 million more than expected, so, and that's partly due because of the time frame, doing the work off hours, increasing all the prices, so, that's basically why we have to go back out, because it definitely came in a lot higher than even the engineers anticipated.
Just because I was at the meeting, it was explained a little bit further. The state awarded $122 million in grants for any work that needed to be done in this go-round. That's 53% of all bids that were put in by different entities. So even at 53%, we're probably looking at $230 million worth of work that has to be done in 14 months. There's a lot of work out there and few contractors to do it. They can bid what they want to bid. That's why this came in over $2 million over our engineering consultants told us it would. We've discussed many things. Going back out for bid, trying to get more money from the state. Changing the scope of the job. And we have questions out there, but currently we feel we need to move this forward if the townspeople decide to do that. And at this time, because if we do any of the things I just mentioned, going back out to bid, changing the scope, it's going to add a couple of months before we can award the bid, should it come in differently, and get the ball rolling. And then we have heard that there could be leniency in the time frame that they allow this job to be done, but it's a gamble the town would have to take. And at the cost of having to give back $3.3 million in a grant because we're not done in time, is that a roll of the dice that we want to take? So, and we also feel that if it went out to bid again, because the work is so much out there, that even the low bidder might go, wow, we only bid by $700,000, let's raise it another $500,000. And whatever they do, and see if anybody comes down in their price, which we don't believe that they will. So it's out there for the people to decide if we push it forward. I've said this, you can ask me questions if you have them. Like I said, I was at the meeting, and to the committee's position, they said, we understand what you said, Stephen. We'd like to go forward with the lowest bidder. And we do have questions out there. Can we change the scope somewhat? But right now, we're authorizing for as speculation.
How many bids do we have?
It had to be 7,
Okay.
and they range from 7.2 to 8.8. But there's so much work out there. So that's where we are.
This is, we're asking for like what we consider the max amount to finance, doesn't mean we're going to, that's the actual number we're gonna finance. It could come in a little lower once we finalize everything.
Right.
So, once we get construction underway, we're gonna do probably some notes and stuff to finance us, but then we'll go out to bid when we have a more firmer number. We're hoping it's gonna be less.
And the last thing we may try to do is if we pass this through and the job gets rolling, when we realize we can try to make some changes, we may do that. But it probably will not, like they talked about in the locker rooms, there's $100,000 airflow changer in the locker rooms. They could do away with that and put in a different system, which would ultimately, they believe, do the same thing within range to save money. And when I asked how much money that would save, they said, well, maybe $20,000. I mean, again, do you have the speculation of the job changed to whatever degree, so somebody can go, well, you changed it, so we want our $3 million back for $20,000 savings. We need some questions answered, but right now we need to move forward if this is the way we're going. So. Any questions? Chris, did I get that right?
Yep, sounds good. I agree.
All right, so no more further discussion. All those in favor of moving this to a town meeting? Aye.
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 Excellent. So it's 4, no other members voting. And that's all we're voting on? Yes,
Yes.
wonderful. Any board comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on I was sad to hear of the passing of Bob Baldwin. Bob served on this board for several years and was a moderator in town, very involved in the community. He was a real gentleman and very even-handed in all he did and very nonpartisan. So
I'm sorry, I was away. When did Bob pass?
he passed away sometime last week. I saw Joan on Friday and she told me.
I'm sorry to hear that. They had just moved to Simsbury not too long ago.
Farmington.
Farmington, to be close to his family and, yeah, I had a nice conversation with them. It had to be maybe 2 years ago, right? That they moved?
Something like that.
Probably a year ago, it's summertime.
Yeah, and I talked to him and he said, the ride it's longer and everything. We're sorry to leave Columbia, but the grandchildren are right there. So, yeah. Okay.
Do you know when the service is, or like?
I guess it's private.
Chris, anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Hearing no more, I motion to adjourn at 8:32. All those in favor? Aye. Can you? So is the 10th our next meeting?
Can I
For
have,
something?